My Lutz. Listen, Birkenstocks today?
Yeah. It's a practical footwear.
Yeah, that's the one. Brushes,
The brushes from last time got all caked up. Did you buy new ones?
I'll find something that works. I need to get the saw brushes too. As you guys may know, we've been working on the siding here on Gabby, the addition build, for about the last week. We got this wall behind me completed last week with the help of our son, Kaimani. We were going to continue on with that process. There's still a lot that needs to be done. Hello, Mama.
Hello.
But in the process of us continuing on, we discovered that I've actually made a pretty major mistake with our trim.
Just a little one.
Once again. So this LP Smart Siding trim that we used here on the addition, Melissa and I painted a bunch of it, got it stuck up on the building. We thought we were good to go. We actually ran out of material at one point, which meant I had to run back into town to get a second load that we used upstairs. In that process, what we discovered, I already knew this, I just forgotten, is that there are two different widths, two different thicknesses of this trim. Downstairs, we used the pieces that were 3/4 of an inch when they were supposed to be 1 inch. So upstairs, we were good to go with the total thickness. But as it stands right now, the reason we're having to rectify this is that if we put the rest of our siding up, you can see that it sticks out. It's proud of this trim. So what we're gonna do is get one additional layer of this 3/4 inch stuff painted, stuck up, and we'll continue on with our siding project. What do you have?
Pocket candy.
Oh my gosh. I heard it.
Do you want some?
Of course I do.
That's too bad it's for me.
What? I got 5.
Under silent distant flame in the bright incandescent vein.
Little lady.
From sky and orange maze and moving through the blood where the chain reaction starts and electrifies our hearts.
So the last time we were doing this, it was like 80 degrees.
You said that we weren't going to have to do this anymore.
I lied, sorry.
Between flickers of a street light, in the time it takes to read both signs above the street, in the minds that they meet, make me think about the way when I winding through the years, just to find you standing here. Our lives designed like fine to
Did let these dry overnight?
Yep.
Tomorrow.
Indeed, Mama, indeed.
Jeremy is going to continue painting and I'm going to head into the house and get dinner on the table. We did get another really late start today because we had homeschool and we're also still sorting through the toy drive. Thank you so much everyone that participated in that. So we also need to let these dry overnight. Once Jeremy gets them painted, he'll set them out to dry and then in the morning we can get them cut and placed. We also have the adventure of the big concrete corner trim pieces. That is the most challenging part because this addition is quite a bit taller than the house. So Kaimani's gonna come out and help us with that and then we can continue on. We have a lot of work to do.
Kira, you are thinking. No, because you'll know I do. Get on! Tito, come on! Here, come to me! Make him go! Oh! No, little pig! I was about to call the grasshopper.
You are my dream, come alive, my everything, my like no other. Here I could stay here.
Yeah.
For forever.
Yeah. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
All these LP trim pieces that we painted yesterday have dried up very nicely. I'm gonna check in with Mama real quick because she's not feeling well. What happened? Tell the people.
I ate Reese's Pieces for breakfast.
Reese's Pieces for breakfast. Was that a pregnancy craving?
It was just bad decision making.
Is that good for the baby?
It's not good for my nausea.
Okay, so Melissa's dealing with that. In the meantime, came out a little earlier and got some of that metal flashing set up on the bottom of our wall here on the addition, the area that we're going to be working in. Good news is that we were able to slightly taper that down, because if you'll remember with this section back here, we had a little bit of the little strip of the sheathing that was sticking out on the bottom. So we have rectified that in this area here. We should be looking good to go. Right now, what we're going to do is get these bulky corner pieces set in place. I have Kaimani to help me out with that since Melissa isn't feeling too well.
Trim. Then my turn. Better not.
Like y'all should have.
Oh, that's heavy. It's on the ground. I'll pick it up, set it in place.
So I don't miss having to lift those heavy corners into place. Plus, Kaimani did a way better job than I ever did.
Yeah, I did.
That's man. Jeremy's been saying Kaimani's so much stronger than you. This is so much easier. So yeah, the corners are heavy, at least for me, but for them, it was no problem at all. So the corners come in 9-foot sections or 10-foot sections. So for the top portion, we're going to be stacking the corner. We'll be taking another piece, cutting it to length, and then stacking it up there. But for the upper part of the addition build, when it comes to the siding, we'll actually be using a lift for that, because trying to do it on ladders is really difficult when you get that high. So we will probably work up to that corner and then take it from there.
Okay, we got those first two bottom corner trim pieces attached to the building. Turned out great.
And look who's feeling better.
Melissa said that she told you guys that we weren't going to do the top. I vetoed
I
that
told
ruling,
them that,
however.
though, Jeremy. I told them.
I'm using my veto power, and we're going to cut those top trim pieces as well, which is a little more complicated because there are a number of angles to take into consideration. So we're going to go very slow, be very methodical, and hope that I don't screw this up.
Jeremy was like, you know, it'd be so fun to do this afternoon. More corner pieces.
That's me. All right, so the upper half of that corner trim is now up. You might notice that we have a little bit of a gap between the bottom and top piece. All that is eventually going to be filled with caulk anyway, and once we have everything up, all the siding, I think there's so much going on, you won't even notice. It'll look just fine.
Nobody saw. And I will definitely not be posting it.
So outside corner number 2 is complete all the way up to the top. Came together really well, nice tight cuts, and our seam here actually meshes together really nicely, better than the other side, so happy about that. We're gonna get this cleaned off. It's getting later in the day. Once we're done here, we'll pick things up tomorrow. Another full day of working. Building your own home, don't do that. Amani and I have been running 4 or 5 times a week, but the hardest part is always finding the time to eat healthy because it's just so tempting to grab what's quick and convenient when I'm busy and hungry. Well, today's sponsor, Huel, is here to help. Huel is meal prep meals that don't compromise your health. I've been using Huel for the past 3 months, and it's such a quick and easy way to make sure I'm getting all my necessary vitamins and nutrients. Huel is ideal for when you're pressed for time, on the go, in a rush, or away from the kitchen. All you need is some cold water, 2 scoops of powder, and shake. You'll have a convenient and nourishing meal in seconds. So I love Huel's Black Edition, which is a low-carb, high-protein powdered meal. It has 40 grams of protein plus 27 essential vitamins and minerals. It's plant-based, gluten-free, has no artificial sweeteners. All of Huel's products are designed by nutritionists and dietitians to give your body everything it needs from a healthy meal in an extremely easy and convenient way. In short, you get a high-quality, nutritious breakfast or lunch for just $2.50 a meal. Huel has become a game changer toward keeping my nutritional goals on track, and although Huel comes in a ton of flavors, my favorite flavor is the Black Edition chocolate. So if you want to save money, save time, and eat healthy, use code GOODSimpleLiving for 15% off your first Huel order plus a free t-shirt and a shaker. That's a $40 value. That's code GOODSimpleLiving for 15% off your first order. Link is down in the description. Having a busy life shouldn't stop you from eating healthy, so go check out Huel today. I need to check. I need the drill. Come on.
That's a real predicament.
Come on. Come on, Melissa. Come on. Melissa.
You do it with the measure.
Back out here getting some work done on what is a very cold and windy morning. Amani and I, despite that, are going to go around and get this 3rd layer of LP trim totally squared away. Everything's already been painted and cut to the proper length. So all we have to do is get it stuck on the building. Once we're done with that, we can focus on our siding. But this afternoon, we're actually going to step away from the addition build because we have a task that needs to be taken care of before the snow starts to fall. Winter is almost here, and we want to make sure that we try to get everything it is done on our list before that actually occurs.
The boys are busy working on the trim, and I'm going to spend about an hour or so sorting. So officially, the toy closet and the 25 adopt a family list is completed and fulfilled. Thank you guys so much. You came through huge this year. So it's going to take me a while to get everything sorted and organized and ready to bring over to CCC. Of course, we're going to bring you guys with us when we do that. But since this is going to take a little while, I have another week to keep the financial aspect of this open. So last year we were able to raise $50,000 for CCC, and this year it's been a little lean, honestly. And I think it's a rough economy, and it's an election year, and there were those big storms that a lot of people donated for. But if you do want to give financially, all of the money goes directly to the families for things like gas cards or grocery assistance or just basic needs, because in the case of CCC, they are serving 3 states. So a lot of these families are driving from hundreds of miles. It usually means that either mom or dad have to quit their job while their child is in treatment, and things can get really rough. So this is just a way for families to be able to go to CCC and get a little support if they need it. If you are able to donate, I have all that information down below. You can donate through PayPal, or you can send a personal check to the Childhood Cancer Coalition. You're going to mail those to our P.O. box, and then we'll add them all up and surprise them at the end. So again, thank you guys so much. I'm going to get busy, and then we've got to get to work on another project. This was back here.
There's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff.
Let me get it loaded up.
It's the build graveyard.
You got it? Can you be lifting? Carrying? You
can.
sure? Well, moving on with our day, we are going to be addressing something that's needed to be done really for a couple of years now. All of this lumber that you see behind me here, behind our sheep shelter and shop, has been sitting here out in the weather really for the past couple of years, which I'm actually embarrassed to tell you guys. We like to keep it out of sight, out of mind, but it has been sitting back here kind of rotting. Now that we have the barn complete, we can get all of the stuff cleaned up and moved over into a nice storage area. This way I won't have to go digging for a 2x6 in the snow should I need one. Also, we have all of these trusses way back here that was used for those gables that we have over in the addition. Those have been sitting around here as well. So we want to get this area cleaned up, make sure that everything stays dry and accessible over the winter.
I don't care for riches nor man's empty praise, 'cause you're all I want for all of my days. I'd give all my money, I'd throw it away to stand in your presence and feel the light of your face. the light of your face. 'Cause all I want is you, you know. You still the joy of letting go. Yeah, I found my peace, I found my hope, I found my home. Yeah, all I want is you, you know. You still the joy of letting go. Yeah, I found my peace, I found my hope, I found my home.
So little fun fact about the sheep. Our sheep are baby doll sheep and they're pets, and we don't eat them because Manny and Mona and Lucille are just our pets. So Dr. Burt was out here a couple of weeks ago and he offered us his flock of 9 pregnant ewes and a ram, and they will be lambing this spring. And I thought that would be a lot of fun to have some lambs and actually have some meat to process that is lamb meat, because us Greek women like our lamb. However, a bunch of you guys were like, no, absolutely not. You cannot touch pregnant sheep or help bird them or touch lambs. And I didn't know that, and it was a lot of our UK viewers. And so I looked it up, and sure as heck, the UK Health Administration put out a big warning that sheep actually carry up to 3 different bacterias that can cause a miscarriage at any stage in a pregnancy, and they're actually really, really dangerous. So if our sheep end up pregnant, even our baby dolls, I will not be helping them lamb this year, and I will not be carrying around any lambs until baby is born. So yeah, thank you guys so much for that information. I had no idea.
All right, we got all of that lumber moved out of the way, so it looks 1,000 times better back here. Also mowed down the grass in the area where all that lumber was because it was growing like a foot tall. Just looked really nasty back here, so I'm glad that it's cleaned up. The last thing we're gonna do in this area to hopefully just make it look nicer, more presentable, so we don't have to hide it behind our shop. Actually, it's still gonna be behind the shop.
We're still hiding it.
We have the tractor backed up to that sheep shelter back there. Melissa and I built that maybe 2-3 years ago
3 years
now.
ago when we got the horses.
Yeah, so it's worked really well. It stored our horses, housed our horses. We moved it out of the horse pasture, brought it here for the rabbits and the sheep. We just want to push it back to the edge of our pasture. It'll create a lot more room behind the shop, and it'll just look better in general. So I built this rabbit hutch like 9 years ago. In fact, it's where we recorded our first ever YouTube video that we posted here to our channel. It's worked out really well over the years, but it's pretty tore up at this point. I think at some point over the winter, we'll probably break it down, rebuild it even better. All right, just hold around if it gets hung up or something. Okay?
Okay.
It's been away since I can remember, but it feels the same every late November. Some things never change, and it's beautiful. It's been a while since I hung this photo from a time and place I know her. These old walls were mine, this is home. I hear the memories marching. This is where it started. This is where it started.
All right, we have successfully opened up and cleaned up the entire back area. It looks so much better. So now the sheep have their side, the rabbits have their side. We got this whole winter shelter cleaned up for them, and the animals are officially ready for the first snowfall, which literally could come any day now. So Jeremy has gone over to the barn. He's going to bring over some hay for the sheep, and then we should be good to go.
Well, I think I can speak for the both of us when I say it's been a very long day, very productive. However, it looks a million times better back here. It's just so nice finally seeing it. Like, this is maybe the most clean it's ever been, honestly. Animals are all tucked away. It's nice and dry and clean back there. So we really don't have all that much left to do.
Yeah, so we're just going to take the old hay that has been rotting on the side of the shop for about a year now. We're going to spread that down because last year that really helped us keep the mud down. Hopefully it'll help kind of reseed this area, fertilize the ground, and then we'll be done for the day. This is the time of year when folks are out there hunting. But we have been so busy this season that we haven't been able to actually get out there. We have a lot to do before winter, and we couldn't dedicate the time that we spent last year to trying to bag a deer. Last fall, the boys spent days out in the snow, early mornings up before dawn, and late evenings until they couldn't see to take a shot even if there were one. And they never did see that buck that they had been watching all summer long. So this year we decided that instead we needed to put our time and our energy into siding and getting the homestead prepared for the winter. So we stopped worrying about the deer that we missed out on last year, and we just kept working. Today we worked all day, and we headed back towards the house right at dusk. But just as we sat down for the evening, there he was, grazing in the field like a manna from heaven. So at the end of a long week, when we thought rest was all that we had ahead of us for the day, we were blessed. Don't some of life's neatest surprises just happen that way? As soon as we stop worrying about something, there it is.